say these people that engaged in online fraud, they are very dedicated, they are diligent, they are consistent.
Yeah.
If you can take the principle and put it in a process, because they are getting the process wrong. However, the principle of hard work, diligent, they are getting it very, very
Right.
What if I die tomorrow? What will happen? So it's good to have 5 years plan, 10 years plan, but how about today? Sometimes we think so much about the future that we refuse to live in the now.
Right.
Your body's already telling you I cannot do this now, but you have to, like, it's a movement against the tide.
Yeah.
So it takes a whole lot of conviction, trying to convince yourself, trying to see reasons why you have to do the things that you have to do.
Hello viewers, and welcome to another insightful episode of the Together We Nudge podcast. I'm your host for today. And today in the studio, we have the ever-inspiring and consistent Emmanuel Gbenga Oyenuhi. Drum rolls. You're welcome to Together We Nudge podcast.
Thank you very much.
And it's so good to see you again after the live chat conference.
I'm glad to be here.
All right.
Thank you too.
You're welcome. So our viewers would like to meet you. Can you tell us who Emmanuel Gbenga Oyenuhi is?
All right. Like you said, I'm Emmanuel Gbenga Oyenuhi. And one thing that I've stayed consistently with me over the year is consistency. That's basic at that. And I'm a master's degree holder in architecture. Yeah, that's from the Federal University of Technology, Mina. And basically, my life revolves around ensuring that each day counts, basically.
Wow, that's remarkable. So before we get into everything you do, I'm curious about what a typical day in your life looks like.
All right. Recently, I decided to stop using the word busy.
Okay.
Because I believe that busy is basically, you use the word busy when you have alternative foregone, as you are prioritizing something else. So if I tell you that I'm busy, that means that I'm prioritizing something entirely different from you or from the particular activity. And I won't say it's also stressful. Reason being that when you have passion for something, it becomes play, definitely. So a typical day for me is waking up, doing my spiritual routine. I read the Bible, pray, then attend to my clients. I'm actually an academic researcher. Yeah. So basically, that is what my normal day is. I wake up as early as I can, do the things I need to do, then jump on my desk to begin the day's work. And funny enough, it might not be LD, but sometimes I find myself sitting in the same position for close to 10 hours working.
Wow, impressive. So let's get right into what we have for today. Yeah. So when people hear your name, I know that you're a person who wears many hats, right? So they often associate you with multiple roles. I know that you are a writer, you are an architect, you are a designer, and you just mentioned now that you're an academic researcher. So how would you personally describe who you are beyond these things that you do? When we strip you off of every of these things that you do, who is Emmanuel?
All right. I believe that the things we do should not necessarily define us. However, we actually define what we do. So I love using the word I am Oyenuhi Gbenga Emmanuel, and I don't add any other thing to it. Why? Because you might see Oyenuhi Gbenga Emmanuel today doing this, in Gbenga Emmanuel doing that. So if I box myself, say, okay, I'm an academic researcher. All right, let me give an example. Like early this morning, someone called me and said, okay, I got your number from someone and this is what I want you to do for me. I had to tell the person that, okay, at this point in time, I can't do this design for you. I'd rather recommend someone else to you. So I had to send him the contact of someone else who will do the design for her. So if I would describe myself, I'm Gbenga Emmanuel, and basically, it might sound funny, but I just ensure that each 24 hours allocated to me, I ensure that I make the full use of it. And you said it earlier, I wear many hats. In school, they call me many things. Why? Because I take utmost use of every opportunity. You know, sometimes you see people saying general contractor. I think I've functioned like that before, and even now, because far back as May 2015, I think I was in a meeting and they asked us, what do you think your purpose is? And I said that I'm a problem solver. So if I'm in a place and you have a problem, I will see how I can be part of the solution and not the problem. This is not about confused identities. It's about meeting each needs as occasion demands. So I would like to say I am Gbenga Emmanuel.
Okay. You know, when I asked you to send me your profile, I was expecting something very lengthy. And then I said it was so brief. In fact, most of the things you do were not included in the profile you sent to me. I said, okay, that's remarkable. So you talked about making every day count. You're someone who takes advantage of every opportunity that you have. So what life experiences shaped your philosophy about making every day count?
All right, I think it was in my 300 levels, 300 level, 200 level. I should be as far back as 2017, thereabouts. Sadly, I lost my roommate. He was a sickle cell patient. Yeah, that should be in October, right? October 2018, thereabouts. And I got to know that this is the person I stayed with. Okay, he was in 300 level. I was in 200 level. Actually, we ought to be in the same level but I took another jam. I had to start all over again. So he was in 300 level at the time, while I was in 200 level. So we've known each other basically for 3 years. However, we stayed together for 2 good years. So I lost him in October. And I got to think of it. This someone I know studies regularly, does all he can, and actually a very bright student. And just like that. So I was now thinking, what if I die tomorrow? What will happen? So it's good to have 5 years plan, 10 years plan, but how about today? And I got to discover that sometimes we think so much about the future that we refuse to live in the now.
Right.
So I told myself that as much as I can, let me do everything I can do today. And if possible, I'm no more tomorrow. Then I'll know that I've done all what I can when I could. Get. And another thing also that also shaped it was in 2020. That was during the COVID-19 break. I think it was in February. We asked to leave the school, reason being that in order to curtail the pandemic. And at the time, my final year topic, as a project topic, my final year has been approved already. I've been discussing with my supervisor. So I think a few weeks later, I was finding it difficult to continue with my project work. Reason being that you don't know when the pandemic will be over and we asked to resume. Then I think we also got caught up in the ASU strike. Then so there was discouragement. So I sat down with myself and I realized that whether I like it or not, school will resume, and whether I like it or not, I must submit this project. So why not use this time to do what I can actually do? But there's another problem. The problem was, what if I can't go far with? Okay, what if tomorrow, okay, let's say today I could cover 2 hours on the research work and the project. What if tomorrow I can't do more than 30 minutes? I got discouraged. But along the line, I feel that It's better you use this time now, whether you like it or not. The future will come, tomorrow will come, then what we have to show for it. So I draft out a plan, like a timetable, stretching from 12 a.m. to 11:59 p.m. That is 24 hours. Okay, what do I have to do? I ensure that I've included my sleep hours and every bit of those things.
Right. Okay, this thing you shared reminds me of an experience I had in while I was serving. You know, NYSC in some places is not very rigorous, so I wasn't ghosting. I wasn't ghosting, but then I wasn't really engaged and I felt like I was wasting. I felt like I needed to do more, and before you knew it, I was in this place where I was really, really pressured and I was almost going into depression. Then one of those days, I told myself, like, why are you worried so much about the future? Because the reason why I felt like I was wasting is I'm going to like, if you continue with this, if you continue this way, if you continue with not having anything to do like this, like, what's the future going to hold? And then I told myself, why not begin to make now count?
Yeah.
You have now, you have the present. You don't even know the future that you are so concerned about. You don't even know what it holds. You can only hope and pray that it turns out beautiful. So I also did this thing. So I decided to maximize the time that I had. So I made sure that I also planned, I had a 24-hour plan. I included my sleep plan. In fact, I gave myself something to do. I included evening walks. I included, you know, I made sure that I could account for every time. And guess what? It wasn't even up to a week. I felt so fulfilled. I felt like I was doing something. I felt like I was ready for that future that I was so worried about. So yes, that's a very good one.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I just remembered now that I included checkups, visitation, those time to call.
I also did. I remember, in fact, I did something very funny. So I wrote mine on a paper and I placed it on the wall. So on Sunday, I said visitation. Then I drew a head crying because I know I won't do it. I know that I'm not going to get up and say that I want to go and visit somebody. However, I included it because I want to make sure that I could account for everything, every minute and every hour of my day. Thank you. Yeah. So you emphasize consistency. You know, during your conference, so when they were asking you, oh, how do you struggle in code to stay consistent? And you said you don't struggle with consistency. And I'm like, excuse me, where did this person come from? So why do you think that many people struggle to stay consistent? A lot of people know what to do. I feel like the subject of purpose has been everywhere now for quite some time. So maybe 6 out of 10 persons know what their purpose is. But at the same time, you see that they struggle with doing what they should do. So what do you think is responsible for this?
I think from my own experience, many persons definitely feel that it's actually impossible. And because of that, they give up even before they start. So they feel that, how can I continue this streak? It looks so difficult. However, one solution, or will I say one hack I found is just start. Just start. However, as a scientist, like a physics student, I know that there is inertia. That is when you talk about inertia. Inertia is that resistance you have before starting, and also that resistance what will not allow you to stop after you've long started. You know, just like the car, you know, the car will have to jack first, and when you want to stop the car, you have to apply the brake, and even after applying the brake, it has to move a few distance before it stops. So that's inertia also is also something people need to watch out for. That causes a struggle. Like, what if I cannot continue with this? All right, I said I'm going to start a maybe 7 day streak, and on day 1 I have the energy. What happens on day 2? So because of that, they just say, let me just leave it out. Then also another thing is lack of accountability partner. Don't have accountability. Funny enough, I was sharing this in a small group I belong to. How that I'm reading a book, and funny enough, I've never completed the book. I had to put 1,000 naira as page marker. You know, the way you get a piece of paper to put as page mark, okay, I'm on page 19, so that when I return to it, I will not be thinking which page. I use just 1,000 naira as page marker that I won't spend this 1,000 naira until I finish this book. The next time I picked up the book, I've even forgotten that I did something like that. So there are many times that people do not have enough motivation to actually start. And that is why it is very important that you define your why. If you don't know the reason why you want to be consistent, you not know what is at stake if you are not consistent, then it becomes very difficult to actually start. And even when you start to keep at it, it might become very, very difficult. So I feel that many people struggle with consistency. One, because they feel that what if I cannot continue? Then two, lack of motivation. Then three, probably they don't have accountability partner, someone that can call you and say, how far with this thing? And I think I have quite a number of them in
Yeah.
my life who keeps me accountable. So when you realize that you have to be accountable to this person, you just have to sit up.
Okay, I'm going to talk more on accountability. Accountability really works if you are struggling to stay consistent. This morning, I was recounting that, and so there's this thing that I do every day. There are like 13 tasks that I have to do, and it covers every aspect of my life, from spiritual to my health to my mental, everything. So I have an accountability partner. So it's a group and they pair you with. So what you do is they ask you for your goals and they get to know you, and then they look for someone who has, and then they pair you together. So I noticed that for this particular task, 13 of them, whenever my accountability partner is unavailable, I struggle to do it. And that keeps me going. Like, I'm always on her. She's not been feeling well for like 2 weeks. I would always be messaging her because I'm like, you not being available is affecting me too. It's not like I don't try to do it, but I enjoy it more. And now that she's back, like there's this, because these are the things that keeps me going. I know how not to stay depressed. I know how not to get depressed. I know how not to feel like inadequate, and that is me doing what I have to do. I'm somebody that thrives on productivity, to be honest. If so, there was a time in school where I've always had teenagers and young people around me. Then one of them calls me Mamana. Then one day says, Mamana, you better take, you will just kill yourself, or you have to. And I told him, I said, if you hear that I die, it is not because of too many activities, in quotes. It is because I'm no longer doing these things anymore. So I find out that accountability keeps me on my toes. Just yesterday, day before yesterday, somebody asked me, she said, I have somebody, like you said, that you have several of them, right? So I have someone that also holds me accountable on my finances. So she told me, I want you to do a breakdown of how you've spent your money from last week till now. Yes, I posted something on my status yesterday that adulthood, I can't believe that I've been doing this thing I've been doing for the past 4 hours, because I checked and I wanted to give account for everything, not because of me, but because somebody asked me for it. So one of the ways to really stay consistent is to have someone that holds you accountable, because some days you may not be able to do it on your own. Just like, let me just pamper myself. But having a circle that always keeps you on your toes, and people who can also encourage you, and people who can tell you the truth, because to be honest, there are some days when you don't feel like it, like people can encourage you, like, okay, maybe you should take a break. We feel like maybe you are doing too much now and you may burn out if you don't take some rest. I think they are really important in our lives.
Some person that can actually shout.
Yes, actually we need them. Yeah. So what are some small daily habits you believe have the greatest long-term impact?
Funny as it may sound, as basic as brushing your teeth and taking your bath as early as you can. I've seen this work.
As early as you can.
As early as you can. I've seen it work. Because one of those things that actually kickstarts our day is having this feeling that you are ready to take on the task. And you see some people sit in bed for so long a time. Okay, But if you can see yourself, walk up from your bed, brush your teeth, take your bait. I feel it has a psychological effect. I say, as funny as it sounds, those are little tasks, but it has a long-term effect. One thing it does, it keeps you on your toes. It gives you, because some persons will tell you that, okay, my day starts by 12 p.m. Some my day starts by 2 p.m. But if you check it, it's not because they woke up very late, but they didn't start what they ought to start at the right time.
Yeah.
And another thing is another little stuff that might not really make sense to some persons, and it has a very great impact on you, is not shifting what you need to do now. Like, you know that, okay, let me lift this stuff from this place. Just pick it, lift it. These are some of the habits, are some of the activities. It's not so much of an activity, them just an habit, just a act. Okay, the plate is dirty. Instead of me just pile it up, why not just wash it now? There's something it does to you psychologically. Because the reason why some people find it difficult to do some things is because instead of doing what they have to do now, they give excuse for it. Oh, I just finished eating. Let me just relax a bit. Okay, you relax, take your plate to the kitchen, but to wash becomes difficult. So if it occurs to you that you are meant to do it, then do it at that moment. Don't shift it. It might look so little. There are some things you can actually put into words. Okay, I need to reach out to this person. Why not make the call now? I need to text this person. Why not? If you check it, if you keep a record of these things, you realize that those things that occur to you to do instantly and you used to do it, you may realize that it might be 24 hours later you remember, or 6 hours later. And it's too late. Probably just go out of a chat box and go to your contact list and just reach out to someone, but you decide to procrastinate. So if it occurs to you to do it now, don't do it later.
Do it now. Right. Okay, so let's talk about social media distractions. So many young people today are struggling to stay consistent because of social media distraction. So how do you manage that?
All right. I was speaking with someone, let's say mentee, and I think she posted a shot on WhatsApp status, maybe 30 seconds to 60 seconds thereabout. It was actually a podcast. And I sent a reply. I said, instead of watching these shots, have you tried to listen to the full podcast? Oh, network, this, that. I replied with the emoji, the one with the pen, just to say noted. And I said, no, this one I can speak to freely. And I said, okay, you're complaining of data. All right, this is YouTube. Just click on download.
Yeah.
And even if it takes 24 hours before it gets downloaded. Okay, I think another excuse she gave is, when I get back home, at least during the break, I'm going to download everything and I'm going to watch and listen to it. So instead of piling these videos up, this particular podcast releases at least 3 podcasts every week. So that is 3 podcast times how many? So I feel that sometimes, or not sometimes, every time you know what we are doing, short. If you are someone that is not given to short, that is YouTube shorts, snippets, and all the rest, and you can actually sit with an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours videos listening and watching, it builds a distaste for how do I put it now? Because when you look at people watching reels, just 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 30 seconds, 60 seconds, their attention span begins to shorten. And that is why even this dumb scrolling, just, and you see yourself over 4 hours. The truth of the matter is, you might be taking little personal development, little information here and there, little information here and there, but they are not ordered. They are not orderly. They are scattered. And on the long run, means okay, I know a little bit about everything, but you have a whole lot of width, but no depth. And depth actually matters a lot.
Right.
So what I usually say is, if you find these 30 seconds valuable, then go for the full video. It helps. It helps. So one cure I've found to distraction, dumb scrolling is ensure you go for the full package, not just for the short. And also there's something I do. I think my phone app, my WhatsApp is set to 6 hours. My Facebook is set to 1 hour. And even the reason why I have up to 6 hours on my WhatsApp is because some of the brief my client sent to me, I have to keep it handy. Then sometimes, funny enough, sometimes I take it up to 9 hours. Why? Because like the other time I was saying that sometimes I have to sit in a place for 10 hours, stretch, that is working. So sometimes I have to take the timeline to 6 to 9 hours, so that you not be okay at 30 minutes, I just put it like that. But currently set at 6 hours. So once and I cannot remember the last time my WhatsApp notified me that I've used 6 hours. I can't remember the longest time. So some of these things actually, so you will be wild. Oh, I've spent this just 12 p.m. and I've spent 6 hours. Or this just 2 p.m. I've spent 6 hours only on WhatsApp.
Wow. This also reminds me of a personal experience in 2020. I had to do that in 2023. Oh, it's almost 3 years. I don't get WhatsApp notifications, Facebook, Instagram. I turned it all off because I found out that these things began to control me. Once my phone beeps, I've grabbed it. If Instagram, I'm like, because the person, why are these things controlling me? No. I can't have things that should be not applications, for crying out loud. Then I should be the one to, and it's great. I just told myself like anything can wait. God forbid an emergency. If there is an emergency, you can put a call through, and even in the midnight, before I didn't used to put my phone on silence. If I want it very loud, like for a while now, you would hardly hear my phone ring out. It's always on vibration. Before I go to sleep, I just pray about it, like, God, whatever emergency is going to happen this midnight, you take care of it. I want to sleep now. I want to use my time, because I know how important rest is for you to stay sane and even productive. So yes, making use of app blocks or also turning off our notifications will go a long way. And there's also this thing that this Pomodoro technique. It's it's a Japanese technique where you work for, I think, 1 hour. Is it 1 hour? Then you take 30 minutes break, or 30 minutes and
30 minutes,
5 minutes break. Then when you do 30 minutes like that, so it also works. So at the end of the day, I think we just have to find, because these distractions are there. Actually, they are very much around us, but we must find our way to make sure that we block them, because they can actually destroy our lives. Really. Technology is meant to help, but if care is not taken, it becomes harm to us.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so I know that I don't want to believe that you were born consistent. So can you share about a time in your life where consistency was particularly difficult, and how did you navigate it? I know you told the story of, that's to making every day count. So that's where you talked about the COVID and the death of your friend. So how were you able to navigate that period in your life where staying consistent was difficult?
Okay, like I said earlier, I believe so much in structures and systems. And last year, the cycle was about repeating itself again, that I was like, no, this is not so much what I want to achieve. I'm operating below par. And a friend of mine, Timothy Osea, gave me a book. He gave me, I collected it from him. Stillness is the Key by Ryan Holiday. I love that book. I love the book. Yeah. So I got to know that your life is in your hands. And whatever you want to do, you can actually do. Whatever you want to achieve, you can actually achieve it. And so I went back to crafting a short stuff. I name it structures and systems, and to ensure that I can see this everywhere I go. Because in 2020, it was just on a piece of paper. I placed it on the wall. Then I can always see it anytime when I wake up and something like that. But I took it a step further by using it as my WhatsApp, is it WhatsApp background. You know, this thing that you are chatting someone and
Wallpaper.
yeah, wallpaper is WhatsApp wallpaper. So each time I can see, okay, this, and I tag it structure and systems. And also I at that point in time I had to decide, what do I need to cut off? What do I need to give attention to? I'm a kind of person that people visit me a lot. Like I have a lot of friends, so maybe I'm just accommodating. So I have a lot of persons that will come around to visit me. I have to intentionally tell people, okay, I'm around, but I cannot actually attend to you now. And sometimes if you are overstaying, you're welcome. Regardless, when you see me pick up a book and just stay quiet, then you know that it's a stop to our conversation. You understand? So the key or the solution is just knowing that I can do this. It is possible. And many times I've rested my back on the bed and I remember that there's this task I've not completed. And if I don't complete this task now, funny enough, the following day, it won't go as smoothly as I want it to be. So it's just better to do what I need to do now. It takes a whole lot of mental power to actually achieve that, because you have to convince yourself. Your body's already telling you, I cannot do this now. This is too tasking for me. But you have to, like, it's a movement against the tide.
Yeah.
So it takes a whole lot of conviction, trying to convince yourself, trying to see reasons why you have to do the things that you have to do. And that takes, because I've also found out that you cannot operate beyond your knowledge. You can't operate beyond what you have stopped up as information. Because some people have informed you over time, give you a whole lot of information. And when you check your data set, or you check your data bank, what you have stored up, you check it. That informs you whether you can or whether you cannot. And that is why I always advise people, you should reinvent. You should refine yourself. You should relearn, unlearn. There are some things you picked up. Why? Because it is what you hear over and over again. And that is because that is the level those people are at. And many times I'm not really surprised at the way some people reason. Because I say, okay, you can't act beyond what you know.
Yes.
Or beyond your awareness.
Yeah. There's a time in our lives where we have to retrain ourselves, really. Yes, we have to outgrow certain things and redefine what our values are and what really matters to us. Now, I just wanted to add, as a mentor, you should also know when to take a break.
Yeah.
Because when you have a lot of people who always reach out to you, particularly if you have the younger ones, sometimes you get so carried away. You are always giving and giving and giving, and you forget that you are giving. And as you are giving, something is going out of you. You need to reimburse yourself. Otherwise, you find out that you've been operating on the same level for a period of time. And before you know it, even the people that you have been giving to, they'll need something more.
Yes, and stop being valuable.
Yes, and this is where you talked about width and depth. So you have a lot of people, they have width, but there is no depth because it's just a little here and there, here and there. So if you are someone who is a mentor, or you find yourself having people who always look up to you, you have to do more work. You have to put in more work, right?
There are sometimes that some of my mentees reach out to me and I won't respond to them immediately.
Yes. I
won't respond to them immediately. Why? Because it's either at that point in time I want them to think for themselves, and number two, probably I don't honestly know the response to
At the
give.
time.
There was one that it was on my neck. I'm not a marketing. I'm not a marketing agency. I'm not a marketing agent. But you have something you are doing, but always on my neck. But because of that requirement, because of that consistent question and demanding answer, I also have to up my game a little bit, and also make me to think, okay, how can I provide answers to this stuff honestly? And that is why sometimes also we need to be honest with ourselves to
Yeah.
know that I might not be able to give everything at this point in time. Then be sincere. Sincerity also goes a long way to know that I don't have this now. It makes you to go in honest pursuit of answers.
Yes, and I feel like sometimes there are so many resources out there. You can just send them some resources. They should go and study it on their own. Then you can come back and have the discussion.
Yeah.
It helps. It can save you
You
some
learn,
time
you
too.
also learn from them.
Yes, yes, yeah. Okay, so let's talk about your daily life lesson.
Oh.
I follow it too. So it reaches many people. So how did that initiative begin and what keeps you committed to it daily? I think maybe we should just talk about how the initiative began, because for your commitment daily, I think you've spoken so much about it. So how did the DLL initiative
Okay,
begin?
that was in 2024.
Okay.
2024. Okay, the life lesson began, that was August 2024. But there was some behind the scene to it. And I started realizing that there are some things I'm learning on my own just by deep observation. Deep observation, yeah. Deep observation. And I'll go to my WhatsApp status, just put, there's an hashtag I do use then. It says daily life lessons. No, life lessons. Not even daily. Just put life lessons. You know, some things I experienced while relating to my clients, the mistake I made, I think that led me to demanding for 70% upfront before I even start doing your work. So I just put life lesson, just put it. It was a way of venting out. I know sometimes the client will see it, sometimes they won't.
Yes.
So just I go of venting out and also putting out there for my contact list to also learn from these things. Then more often than not, I used to get feedback. Oh, that is true. So sometimes even led to conversation in through direct messages, continue the conversation by just a response from someone on that saw it on my WhatsApp status. So along the line, I attended a writing mentorship program. It was a free writing mentorship by Emmanuel Olajide, a very good friend of mine, King of Value. So one of the facilitators made mention of something in that line, like picture messages. And before then, I saw something like that from this man, Tola Alabi. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah.
He's actually a veteran in the graphic design industry. So I saw, I love this. I love this. I love this. So after the writing mentorship, I just took that initiative. This is something I can actually do. I believe that I have a whole lot to share, and just on WhatsApp, just 24 hours and it's gone. So what can I come up with? What can I come up with? Daily life lessons. So beyond the life lesson that I share, each time I have an experience, okay, let me rant, or let me give voice to it so that other people can also learn from it. So in August 2024, I began with the daily life lesson.
Amazing. And I'm sure it has transformed a lot of people.
Many testimonies that I feel to share.
Okay. I know that you're a faith person. So how does your faith influence your daily decisions and your approach to life and work?
Okay. I'm a pro quiet time person. Quiet time, that is morning devotion. Do your devotion. Do your devotion. So it's the core. Actually, it's the core. That if I can do my daily devotion, I so much believe that my day will go as it ought to be.
Yeah.
And funny enough, in school, once you see me with my bag, then just know that I'm ready to sleep anywhere. Because contained with that bag is my Bible, is my daily devotional, then my writing notes. Once I have those three with me, I'm okay. But if I'm not there, the major issue will be like, if I wake up the next morning, there's no way I can go back home to pick it up. So that means my schedule is altered for that day. So it's actually a core to me getting consistent. That up to this morning, I just had to do that. Read, pray, then have a deep meditation to know, okay, what do I have to do, the people to reach out to, and what. So it's the core. It's the core. It's the core.
So let's talk about 30. So what inspired you to write your book, 30, and what core message do you hope readers take away from it?
Okay, 30 is transforming habits, inspiring reflections, and transforming you. When I got to camp, that is 21 days orientation camp, and interacted with some core members and realized that, Kai, no, I don't think these people are ready for life. Probably I was able to think like that because I've spent close to 4 years outside the wall of a university, in quotes, that is as an undergraduate. And I was able to know that there is a whole lot that happens outside the four walls of the institution that these people are not yet exposed to. And also after the 21 days orientation camp, also got to interact with some persons and realize that, okay, this person has this perspective, but it is somehow flawed. This person has this knowledge, but it is not deep enough. So why not put something together about what I've experienced? I was able to navigate it. So at least they can have it handy, and as many persons who want to can actually read it, just like I will put it, a life guide, so to say. And many persons are approaching 30, and yet they've not yet have an handle on life. See, some persons, these are side of the world, but I still have some 27, 28, still struggling with undergraduate studies and all the rest. And when they're out, so they need to know that even beyond you go through, that linear primary school, secondary school, university or polytechnic, then you get a good job, you get married, give birth, then you start the same cycle for your children. Life is actually beyond this. And the core message is just for them to know that your dream is valid. I say this a lot. Your dream is valid. You can become whatsoever you want to become. You can become whatsoever you want to become. You can do whatsoever you want to do. The one of the book I just finished writing, just waiting for the publication. There's something I shared there. If it easy, if it dey easy do am, if it easy do am. Yes, I took a parallel analysis between those who do what is wrong and those who can actually do what is right, but they get discouraged. Why? Because they are not getting the same result with those at the other side. And look at this fraud, this online fraud and all the rest. Say these people that engaged in online fraud, they are very dedicated, they are diligent, they are consistent.
Yeah.
If you can take the principle and put it in a process, because they are getting the process wrong. However, the principle of hard work, diligent, they are getting it very, very right. So why not just apply these principles to your processes? Then your outcome will be very awesome. So that is what 30 is about: transformative habit, inspiring reflection. So you check this habit, it makes you reflect. When you reflect, then it transforms you. That is part of the reflection will be, I cannot continue like this. What if this thing passes for almost 5 to 10 years? What happens? And also one of those things also is I've seen old men, old women walking old men, old women going to the market just to return with a small nylon bag. These people, they were once youth. So how did they live their 20s? How did they live in their early 20s, their late 30s, and turn out this way? I said, I know. The little I can actually influence, let me put something together for them.
Wow, I have the book, and is it still available for purchase?
Still very much available.
It's really rich. So someone was, after the live chat conference, someone was talking about you, and then he said, "Oh, is it Gbenga?" Yeah, I said Gbenga. I said Gbenga is excellent at everything he does. He said there is absolutely nothing that he puts his hands on that he does. He said the guy is good. And I'm like, amazing. Yeah, and even the book shows it from the design, from the quality, the content of the book itself. It does tell of someone who is really excellent.
Thank you.
So let's talk about young people who feel stuck or unproductive. What practical steps would you recommend to help them begin to make each day count?
All right. The very first thing the person in the situation should do is to know that I can't get these 24 hours back. And I'll make inference with the sad situation, although I think it's been a while the higher institution go on the ASU strike. But then ASU strike, when you get, okay, I get admission, but when will I leave the university or the polytechnic, you don't know. So you must know that these 24 hours, you cannot get it back again. Then, 2, who do I want to become? Who do I want to become? I used to tell myself that I don't want any seed, that is, any child will come out from me, from my loins, to say, Kai, no, I regret.
I wish I had another father.
I wish I had another father. No. So, what do you want people to say about you? Don't even take it far. Your children. So I will tell people that I'm living for the future. I'm not living for myself. Because if I'm living for the now, there are many things I won't do. It's just about me. What happens tomorrow? What happens when the people that are not alive now, or the people that are not in the world now, they can never, you lived in this era, you need during this time, and imagine your colleagues and this kind of people.
What do you do with your time?
No. So who do you want to become? What do you want people to say about you? I think when you find answer to that, there's a way impact and desire to make impact, to influence, stirs you up. Then there's also a question I used to ask myself, that let's assume that they can have 1,000 Gbenga in Nigeria. Will Nigeria be a better place? And you may not know, but that is just the truth. You are influencing people, and you are reproducing your kind.
Yes.
That is just the truth.
True.
So, with this flaw, if this flaw that I have is multiplied in 1,000 times, this will be this will be funny. So know what you want to do, the kind of impact, the kind of influence you want to be on people.
Amazing. You know that I've been doing this for a while, but this feels different. It feels like I could hear despite the calmness, I could hear the passion, like a quiet kind of energy in the message that you are passing across, and that's really remarkable. I'm pro self. That doesn't mean that I'm selfish, but beyond even the children that you would have, sometimes I ask myself, like, what about me? Like, okay, it was me before any other thing. At the end of my journey here on earth, will I be proud of the things that I did? will I be proud of myself? Will I be glad that I came? Like, would it be worth it that I didn't just come to balance the ecosystem and okay, I'm done, and that's the end of it all. So we must really, really make our lives count. Making our life count really matters. And I remember the Pomodoro technique is 25 minutes work, 5 minutes break, 25 minutes again, and after 1 hour you take 30 minutes break. So that's how it works. Okay, so let us not make you a superhuman, right? So, as someone who wears many hats, you're an architect, you're a speaker, you're a writer, and all of that, do you feel burnout sometimes? Do you feel overwhelmed? And how do you maintain focus without feeling scattered?
Okay. And also, I'm also an actor.
Okay.
I was one of the main character for my service year. Yeah, my service year.
Okay, I saw that.
Okay. I was Adetomi Adeleke. All right. A friend of mine who I look up to in my profession as an architect, Idowu David, follower. There was one day I spoke up because he's actually someone that is also very consistent, diligent, and very detailed. You cannot be an architect and not be detailed, actually. So I told him that I wish I can do the things that you do. And his response changed the narrative for me. He said, I also wish I can do the things that you are doing. He said, wow, 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 wow. So that to me speaks of contentment. Is a visualization, is a visualizer. That is your plans, put it in 3D, interior, exterior, how you want it to look and everything, very good. And now on the other hand, I'm an academic researcher. And sometimes I think that I'm an architect. But if you ask people on my contact list, they might, I'm sure, you've not even seen probably a plan or maybe 3D on my WhatsApp status before. Yeah, sometimes it gets to me. But other times, I don't say console myself, but that's just the truth that you can't do everything that you want to do. Also, you can't do everything there is to do.
Right?
And that takes me back to October 2025 when I was called upon to be one of the lead character for the movie. And I said, oh, I have a whole lot to do, a whole lot on my table. And when I considered, okay, is this something I want to do? Actually, there are many backstories to that. So what I did was to put it on my status to say that for the month of October, I will not be available because most of my work are through referrals. I mean, I put that myself aside. If you want to write projects, contact me. I'm a ghostwriter.
That, yeah.
So my work, and reason being that just to curtail the amount of people that reach out to me. So I had to reach out. I won't be available. The funniest thing, for the most part of October, nobody reached out to me. So that aspect of academic writing was it that I was on set. Sometimes early in the morning, because for the morning shoot, afternoon shoot, some for the night shoot, back to back for October. No, sorry, October, November. I think we shot it for 2 months. October, November. One thing I just want to point out is seasons. Times and seasons. While I was coming for youth service, I made up my mind, I'm going to write a book. I ended up writing 2 books. One is out already, the other one still is also ready, but I've not put it out there yet. Seasons. Know what you are meant to do. And that is where scalability comes in. You can actually put your effort in things that you can actually scale. I still design for people. Yes, I still design for people. I think last month I still did 2 designs. Yes, that might be quite small compared to those that are focused there. But when it comes to academic writing, or even this morning, I had to do a quick walk before coming around, So know the season that you are in. There was a time all what I do is just to sell. Sell physical product, so to say, physical product. But now I'm more invested in selling digital product. That is my book and probably other things that will come in handy. So we must know the season that you are in. Okay, now in October, November, I was purely a dramatist, an actor, taking the lead role. Now, and you must also know those things that can go hand in hand. As an academic writer, it will be easier for me to be a writer. As a writer, it will be easier for me to be an academic writer, to put out content. It will be easier for me to be an author. You understand? It will be easier for me to write articles, journals, and all the rest. So you must know things that are compatible. And although they might be compatible, but that might not, this time might not be the right time for you to actually put it out there. So seasons, times, compatibility, knowing what works at the particular time and what might not work.
Yeah, so the summary here is, despite being someone who wears many hats, you know what you need to do per time.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's have some fun closing questions.
Okay.
So what's something about you that people wouldn't expect at all?
I'm a clown.
Okay.
Clown in the sense that I don't know if I've been speaking seriously since
Yeah.
since the beginning, but I can be very, let's say, unserious. Yeah, like someone met me. Was it at the beginning of the year? I said, oh, anyway, I was one time president for the Dudu CDS group in Gombe, LGA, and they said, Presido, when you stand before us in the CDS, the way you address us seriously, this, that. Now, see the way you've been jumping up and down and address it. Oh, that is me. Oh. That is me. Oh. I know when, okay, let's keep a straight face, then and life is not hard. You are just you. And one thing I always want to preach is my humanity. I'm human.
Right.
Yes, it makes people feel comfortable around you. It makes people know that irrespective of how human I am, there are some things I can also do. Not that behind closed doors, like I said, sometimes I sit 9 hours in the same place. It's not every day, for God's sake. It's not every time. It is when work demands that I have to be here, stretch. Because back then in Mina, there is a workstation whereby you can buy 12 hours. So you bought time, 12 hours, you have to use it. So it became part of me when I came to Gombe. I have a lot of, I have to sit from morning that some of my friends will complain, try to stand up, talk, and you mean you've been here since morning, 9 to 4, 9 to 6, and sometimes it might just be weekly activities that will allow me stand up, just freshen up. Then I'm on ground. So I'm very, don't let me say unserious. I can be very unserious at times.
It's good. I think that's what it is with most people that look serious outside. When you know them inside, they are very, very unserious. And that's good because at the end of the day, like you said, we're all humans after all, and you have to breathe, right? Okay, it's been a very enlightening and impactful session. And we'll draw the curtains here.
Thank you.
So thank you
for having
so
me.
much for coming. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing out of your depth and your experience. It was really a pleasure hosting you.
Thank you very much.
And 30 is still available for
Yeah.
purchase. Like you said, I have one and would like you to get one as well, as it will transform you so much. Until next time, keep following us on our social media handles and watch the previous episodes of the Together We Nudge podcast. And don't forget to keep improving on yourself and know that you can always be the best version of yourself. See you next time and bye.